Good evening. Hey, this is Brother Pat from Jacksonville, Florida. Uh, I want to show you this book that I'm reading. I'm hoping to get it done by October, but I doubt it. It's a lot in here, a lot of great information in this book. This is Henry Mackauer, Deceit and Seduction, Volume 2, Illuminati. Controls the Christian church today, that controls the bankers control the Christian church and the world because of purse strings money. Henry Mackauer is a well-known writer. Uh, also known as there he is right there. That's Henry Mackauer, and his book Illuminati 2, Deceit. Here it is. There it is. Deceit and Seduction. So we're going to go into page I think 249. No, 127. I'm sorry. Okay. I want you to listen close to this. Now, this is real stuff now. I don't care what you've heard. And, because the world is afraid, even the Christian church, to face the fact that we're being controlled by an unseen monster so dangerous that we don't even see it coming. And I have to say it that way, folks, because, and thank you for listening to Josh and me the other night on TikTok. There is so much misteaching on the law and the Sabbath. And I'm telling you something, it's changed my life forever 14 years ago. When I found out, Brother Pat found out that I was breaking his laws and commandments and his holy days and everything holy about God, this beautiful Hebrew Israelite named Hernando from Ohio. He passed away about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe. And he really brought me into truth. And, I was really angry at myself. I really was. I wasn't angry at any pastor. And actually, a lot of it was my fault, too, for not reading the Bible enough. And this is what a lot of Christians face in this world. They don't read their Bible. And a lot of them don't even believe the Bible. If you believe that the Lord is done away with, you are misled. You are totally misled. And who's this MacArthur? They're lifting this guy up. I heard the other day on YouTube, gave the greatest sermon ever heard. Him? Breaks the laws and commandments? No, not him. Not even Dave Wilkerson. I'm sorry, I sat under him too. When you break his laws and commandments, you are in deep trouble. Now, if you didn't know, and I doubt if Dave didn't know, Dave knew, Wilkerson knew, all these pastors that passed away, Benny Hinn is next. They're all going down the tubes one at a time. Kenneth Copeland cuts his hand on worldwide TV and YouTube and drinks his own blood. And you tell me you give him money? You send this ministry money? Well, go ahead, because the Bible calls you a fool. Because you say there is no God. Look, the title in this book tonight, it's right here. Is Lucifer the God of Judaism? Well, let's find out. Okay. And you might not see me sometimes because this book is pretty heavy and thick, so I got to try to hold it and bring some really, really truth to you tonight. Okay. This was written for HenryMackauer.com. My light's not really, really good in the room, so I'm going to do my best to read it. HenryMackauer.com by Will Newman, who attended Jewish synagogue. He was relatives and has relatives involved in Talmudism, Kabbalah, B'nai Brit, and Masonry. In 1976, Walter White Jr., a concerned patriot, conducted an interview with a young Jew named Harold Rosenthal, who was the assistant of Senator Jarvis of New York. In the interview, later published as The Hidden Tyranny, The arrogant Rosenthal blatantly boasts on tape that the Jewish people have fabricated certain falsehoods which work to conceal their nature and protect their status and power. Rosenthal debunks the commonly accepted lie that the Jews are Israelites and thus God's chosen people. They are not. The white Jewish people are not the chosen people. The black Hispanics in the world are, not Afro Americans. Let me give this real quick to you. King Hoshea from Syria had in captivity 8 tribes of Israel. He ordered his prince Nebuchadnezzar to take the 8 tribes down the coast of Africa into South America. All the Hebrew tribes are here today, and they're in America too. The Mexicans are Issachar. The American Indians were the tribe of Gad. They traveled from Hoshea, his orders. They're all over the world, but the proof that we're in the last days now, the Most High, Ahayahs Bashem Yeshaya, told us in the Bible that he will gather his chosen people from the 4 winds of the earth in the last days, and we're here. We're in the days of Noah, and you better understand that you are. There's no line about it. Why are so many people downcast? Why are so many people, Christians, living in fear, in doubt today? And they are confused, knowing that they're lied to, but they're saying to themselves, well, there's no other place to go. I mean, I've been going there all my life with my family and my grandfather, but that's an excuse. Christ says on Judgment Day, they'll come with excuses, but there'll be no excuse. In the interview later published as the hidden, okay, I got that. Rosenthal said in part, most Jews do not like to admit it, but our God is Lucifer. Listen, this is a Jew. I wasn't lying. He and we are his chosen people. Yeah, the white Jews are Lucifer. You understand? They serve Lucifer. Lucifer, they're his chosen people, the white Jewish. And white Jewish people are not from Israel. They're from the Khazarian Mountains, the Khazar Mountains. They are called the serpent people. Most Jews do not like to admit it. All right, watch. Lucifer is very much alive. www.macquarietery.com, Wallace interview, 1967. Him, H-I-M. Lucifer's goal is to be like the Most High, Isaiah 14:14, and to assert the worship of God, Matthew 4:9. Lucifer's purpose is to deceive the whole world, Revelation 12:9, by transforming himself into an angel of light. Now you've heard me. Now you know what that is. That's Second Corinthians 11:4. You've heard me say this before, that who are the real antichrists in the world? The bankers, the ones who control the world through Lucifer. Okay. This is the best exemplified by the Freemasons. Their motto of making good men better produces a far more favorable public image than the more accurate alternative. How to become demon-possessed in 33 easy steps. The Jewish and Masonic religions both worship the same God. You know, you see these Masonic lodges with the sign across it and the circle. That's them. Okay. Bright light. In most Jewish synagogues, a bright burning flame represents their God. The Hebrew word for Lucifer is Hili. Strong's Concordance H1966, meaning bright light. Curiously, this is the name chosen for the Jewish student organization. A central text in the Kabbalism is entitled the Zohar, which translates to the book of the brightness of splendor. Now listen. The Jewish six-pointed star is the highest symbol in the occult and goes by various names as Star of Moloch, Saturn, Shun, Rampan. It is a symbol of the union of male and female and is identical in meaning to the Masonic square and compass, which is also a six-pointed symbol around the letter G, representing the genital sexual act. In place of the G, we find 777 amidst many Jewish stars. The Hebrew symbol 17, worn around the necks of many Jews, ostensibly symbolizes life. Lakshim, the word literally translates to a living thing or beast. H2416, this symbol is an idol for the beast. The Jewish name for God is represented by the Tetragrammaton 777 Yahweh. Now, how many Christians and Hebrew Israelites have you heard that they call God Yahweh? Yahweh can be pronounced Yahweh or Jehovah. The significance of God's name is repeatedly emphasized throughout the scriptures. Henry Macau. Let me try to read this without the book. I can read these pages. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. When dissected in the Hebrew, the true definition of Jehovah, Yahovah, is revealed. Yah, H3050 means God. Hova, H1942 translates to energy coveting. Coveting, hear that word? Coveting, the covet, failing desire, ruin, calamity, iniquity, mischief, naughtiness, noisome, perverse, very wickedness. Jehovah is synonymous with Baal. Baal, H1180, from Baal with porn, snuff. My master, Baal, a symbolical name for Jehovah, Baal. Do you understand what these names really mean? Since the days of Jeremiah, the Jews have forgotten their God's name and replaced it with the title Baal or Yahweh, the lying prophets, which think to cause my people to forget my name, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal, Jeremiah 23 to 27. Yahweh and Baal both represent the god of sexual perversion and wickedness, Satan. However, Jews claim that this name, Yahweh, is not to be spoken out loud, despite God's command to declare his name throughout the earth. Exodus 9:16. Why ignore this commandment? Judaism claims to be the authority of the Old Testament. However, they do not practice what they preach. They dress in black. Who dresses in black today? The Christian church. The color of death, in spite of the scriptural precept to wear white. Ecclesiastes 9:8. Read it for yourself. Reject Christ as Messiah, who is prophesied throughout the Old Testament and refused to speak God's name in violation of the scriptures. Now, when you meet these white Jewish people, don't hate them, but try to bring them to the truth. You better get this book, Henry Makow, Volume 2, Deceit and Seduction. By renewing their name of God Yahweh, by not speaking it, Jews create an air of mystery and holiness around the name while enchanting the courtesy surrounding its pronunciation and power. When curious Jews, non-Jews alike, see the sacred tetragrammaton being used in occult practice, they are intrigued by the perspective that their sorcerers have harnessed the mystical power of the name. And they have, but it's not God's name. It is not God's name. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. I'm not well to be seen. Don't worry about it. Just hear what I'm reading. Wicca, Satanism, Tarot, occult, Catholicism, Masonry, Kabbalism use their knowledge of their sacred name of God as bait to recruit cult members. If the name were not hidden, these cults would lack a critical tool in their recruitment process. They could not offer this forbid knowledge if the Jews, the self-proclaimed authority of God, spoke this name openly. The mystery religions and witchcraft covens owe a great debt to the Judaism of conditioning the mainstream to accept the importance of secrecy of this name. The vocal praise of the name Yahweh is reserved for the elect who learn the Kabbalah and pay money to do so. This is forbidden by the profane. Judic doctrine is fundamental to selling the occult as a righteous practice. Satan is the author of confusion and goes by many names. Now listen, how many times we were told in Christianity too, God has 100 names. No, he don't. Satan has 100 names. Satan is the author of confusion by many names. Many of the ancient pagan deities were Satan and his angels in other forms. The two Babylons by Ahayahs. The Jews employ a number of false names for God in their rituals, which are also alternate titles for Satan and other powerful demons. All right, 129. Okay. It's going to get good. It's going to be about another half hour, but be patient. You need to hear this. In the same manner, by black magician and Satanist invokes demons by name. In the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey, Jewish anti-LaVey provides an extensive list of infernal names that, when summoned, provide the practitioner with superhuman abilities, namely intelligence, power, skills, and manipulation. Who went to school for manipulation? Crefrodala. Enhanced creativity, material wealth, and the satisfaction of diverse lust. Prayer. In Hasidic synagogues, many Jewish prayers are conducted in Yiddish. They are not Hebrews. In compositive language, far from the intended pronunciation of the original Hebrew. These prayers are nothing more than disguised demonic invocations. They are hypnotic spells similar to the Eclectic language of the Church of Satan. Are you listening? Young Jews spend countless hours preparing for their bar mitzvah, which consists of memorizing long chants and proper credence and tone. Most who complete the bar mitzvah will not be able to translate more than a handful of words. These young men and women have no idea what they are saying or to whom they are praying. Jews are invoking demons named, watch this, and you thought these were godly names, and listen, names Adonai, Elohim, El Shaddai, Zebat, Deruah, Diana, et Philim, their rituals. Vain repetitions and head bobbing during Jewish prayers. You see them at the wall, you know, the Jewish wall in Jerusalem. What do? They bob their head. You know what they're really doing? When they put those prayers in the walls, they're cursing America. Vain repetitions, head bobbling during Jewish prayers aid the entrance into a trance state. Large members of atheist Jews engage in the religious worship of status and knowledge. As Bill Cooper writes, the worship a lot different from study or knowledge, science or technology is Satanism in its purest form. And its God is Lucifer. Knowledge, okay. Behold, a pale horse, 70. Judaism fills its members with the same satanic powers as the Church of Satan and Freemasonry. Kabbalism. Kabbalism. The foundation of Kabbalism is identical to Satanism. The reversal of the roles of God and Satan is the pursuit of hidden occult knowledge, which allows one to achieve God-like abilities by calling on the so-called names of God. These are names of fallen angels, demons, spirit guides who are the gatekeepers to occult knowledge, Genesis 6:4. Jubilees, Enoch. While not all Jews actively practice Kabbalah, they all accept the highest Kabbalist name as their God, Yahweh. The infamous Kabbalist and Satanist Aleister Crowley writes, listen to this, now I'm going to add this, and now this is true. When you go to church on Sunday, that's who you're worshiping. Aleister Crowley. You may think you're worshiping Jesus. They are thus 72 angels. These names are derived from the great name of God, the name of Tetragrammaton, IHVH, commonly called Jehovah. He is the supreme Lord of the whole universe. The book of Thoth, 43. A number of other secret pronunciations of Yahweh are used in the occult in addition to Yahweh and Jehovah. And you know who uses the word Jehovah? Jesse Duplantis. All the Word of Faith teachers use these names. Don't give money to them. They're a cult. Every one of them are going to fall by the wayside now. Every one of them. One by one, they're going to fall. Get my book, A Race War Coming to Him. Hold on. It's in my book. Get my book. I need to build a homeless shelter here in Jacksonville. I'm not asking for any money on my program. Here's my book. A Race War Coming to America on the Horizon. It's in all bookstores. I got every one of those demon liars. You know what I put in there? They all lost their way, and they have. Now, this is the last page. Now, this is one of the best pages in this writing that I had tonight for you. And I hope you're listening. I hope to God that you'll tune into this station. This is my son's station. This is Ahayahs Truth. And he's letting me be on there. And Josh comes on with me, or sometimes I go on with him. Okay, listen. The secret of the ancient Egyptians and their modern disciples, the Freemasons, is the art of demonology for gaining power, mainly through the devil, Jehovah. Jehovah is the devil. In the Royal Arc degree Freemason, the acknowledges that the devil, in the guise of Jabubalum, is his sacred lord. The name Jabalum being a composite of Yahweh, Baal, and Orsis, he chants Jabalum, 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 Jehovah, text, March, Codex, Magria, chapter 4. Albert Pike discusses the Calvinistic Masonic significance of Jehovah in great length in Morals and Dogma. Get this, 66 to 13, 401, 467, 516. Remember, Morals and Dogma. Get that book. The name Yahweh was injected into the text of the Old Testament by the Pharisees. Now, who did Christ have trouble with? Not so much the Pharisees, the Sadducees that came from the Khazarian Mountains, and others who practiced Babylonian, the Khazarian Mountains, that's where the white Jews are from, Satanism, the persecutor to the persecutor to Kabbalism and Talmudism. For those who don't believe the Talmud is Satan, it proclaims that Christ is in hell, boiling in excrement and semen. You know who teaches this? You want me to read it? Copeland teaches this. It's in my book. Get my book. He teaches that Christ went to hell in just the words that I just read, and came back, and God said, it's enough. And he got born again. Wow, that's a sick man. He better not ever meet me face to face. He's going to have a problem with me. No physical. I'll cut him so deep with the word, I'll leave him bleeding out on blending here. He'll be staggering to the hospital, wounded, bleeding, with the truth. Now watch this. Listen to this. This explains Rosenthal's saying, and I got something to say about him too that I learned. Watch this. We are amazed by the Christian stupidity in receiving our teachings and propagating them as their own. And they have. You use the word Jehovah and Adonai and Elohim and all those words, you're serving Satan. In Henry Ford's words, the Christian cannot read his Bible except through Jewish spectacles, and therefore reads it wrong. The International Jew, Volume 5, 238. God's real name. Here we go. I don't care what Hebrew Israelites out there, and I love them all. His name is not Yahweh, folks. His name is not Yehu. I don't know what you're calling him. It's all in the Bible. Now listen. God's real name. The demonic disdain for inhumanity exhibited by the Luciferian Jew, Harold Rosenthal, typifies the end result of a lethal amalgamation, Jewish religious ritual combined with the worship of knowledge and self. That's a cult. The Jews are a people, by rejecting God and or accepting Jehovah, have been given over to a reprobate mind, being filled with all unrighteousness. Romans 1, 28, 31. Of course, Mr. Rosenthal was a member of the elite, openly satanic minority among the Jewish people. Everyday Jews do not know that the God of their faith is in fact Satan. The white Jews, listen. The Jewish people, everyday Jews, do not know that the God of their faith is in fact Satan hidden behind a mystical name. It is of no coincidence to Satan whether he is worshipped deliberately or through subtle lies and deceptions. Genesis 3. Now that goes for Christians too. When you sit under dollar and all the word of faith teaches, you're sitting under Satan. Watch, listen to this now. Listen. The wise Solomon, and I got something to say about Rosenthal that I read about 8-10 years ago. Listen. Not now, watch this. God, the wise Solomon said, watch. Solomon asked this, what is God's name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Proverbs 30, verse 4. God's name is Ahayah. God's name is Ahayah, sometimes translated Eli, or Ali, meaning I am. This is the name given to Moses along with the law. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. This is my memorial unto all generations. My name does not change. Christ is the same yesterday and forevermore. He doesn't change his laws, his Sabbaths, and you better get right, Christian church. Exodus 3:14, 15. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Exodus 32, 4, 5. Okay. Now, before I close, I want to say something to you about, I'd say 10 years ago, at least 10 years ago, I heard this, and I listen to truth. I know truth when I hear it now. I've been lied long enough in Christianity to know the better now, to go back. I love them. I don't talk about them. I bring the truth to them. I try to tell them what's going on. If they don't want to listen, here's the plain truth. They love their slave master, Christianity. It's a slave master. When you came over on the ships in the Atlantic trade, you had the Hebrew language and you could not understand the Western Hemisphere language because you had God already. They forced this white religion on you and even told you all the time, got the Bible out. Slaves, you're not slaves. Obey your masters, and this is good in the eyes of God. And they believed that lie 400 years ago. And they're still wearing black, and they're still in slavery in their mind today. And they won't admit it because they love their slave master. That religion was forced on you. Watch what Rosenthal said. A white pastor, a brother, I don't know, I guess he's a brother, but I hope so. A pastor had a confrontation with Rosenthal. Watch what Rosenthal said. This is true. I read this. Now, I'm not going to lie. They were asking about the American food, the chain food, what's good and what's, they would have a conversation. And Rosenthal, I don't remember the whole thing, but this is what he told him. We have a certain program going in the world where we have power, listen to this, to take this is true, all babies that die, when the mothers lose a baby, watch this. He said this to the pastor. They take those babies and they chop them up in their, what do you call that? That they have a factory, that people that bring food to the food markets, labeled foods and all that. They chop them up and they add it. Watch this. And I want you to listen, McDonald's. They add it in they own all the food chains. They own McDonald's, Burger King, they own it all. And that's what you're eating. If you're eating their fast food, some of it, not all of it, is mixed up with that food. You know what he told the pastor? I don't care if they die. I don't care if they're that stupid. and they don't do their research of where they're getting their food from. That's what he told the pastor. And you could take it to the bank. You got to be careful what you eat out there. Yeah, I go to McDonald's. I have apple pie, coffee. I have an egg, maybe an egg once in a while. That's it. Burger King, they have the everything burger, the Impossible Burger, plant-based. I have that, coffee. I have a very little, I eat the best I know how. I eat the best I know how to. I eat a lot of salad. I don't eat red meat. I'm trying my best. I'm 66. I'm 76, sorry. I'm 76. And I'm real healthy. I went to the doctor and everything's fine. I did drywall for years. I got a little arthritis in my right knee and my right thumb from holding the hawk, doing that finishing. But other than that, I'm blessed. I'm happy. Excuse me. What you heard tonight is true. What I read to you, God's name is Ahayah. You can take it to the bank. What I read to you from Henry Macauer, this man knows what he's saying. Now, my next pages are going to be okay. Jews defined by occult idolatry, not nation or race. I'm going to read that next. All right, and that's going to be what's tomorrow? Oh, today's the Sabbath. The Sabbath ends 6 o'clock tomorrow night, so I'm going to read this tomorrow night. I want to read something to you in my book before I close. I'm going to read to you something. Give me a second. Give me a minute, please. Just give me a minute. I don't know if it's that far in the book. No, I think it's right after here. Okay, hold on. No. Okay, it's got to be over here. Give me a second. I know it's where I expose the word of faith teachers. Okay. Where's in my own book? I can't find it. I should have underlined it. All right. I think it's in the beginning. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. Now listen. Now this is Kenneth Copeland's teaching. This is Kenneth. This is not my teaching. It's not a Christian teaching. I don't know where he got this from. Now listen to this demonic creature that he's going to answer to God someday, taking money from people all over the world and lying. I'm going to start in the middle of 12, page 12 of my book, A Race War Coming to America on the Horizon. When will the people of God stop listening to the lies of the word of faith teachers instead of listening to God's word? If you or anyone you know are giving money to false teachers on television, stop giving to them because you are supporting cult ministries. This is the cult, listen, teaching in the word of faith doctrine. Listen what they believe. Now listen. Say on. Christ died spiritually doctrine. This teaching says that Christ became satanic on the cross, a sinner of the worst kind. They claim that Christ became demon possessed on the tree, listen to this, and went to hell, where he was tormented by demon spirits and Satan himself for 3 days and 3 nights. These lying demons. Then God said, it's enough. Then Christ was born again, like any sinner is born again when he is saved. They have no faith in the atoning blood of Christ. They teach that redemption was bought by his suffering in a burning hell. I will give you some of the names of the false teachers who have sold their souls for fame and money. Their end is a burning hell. They have led millions of people astray with their twisted doctrines. And when you keep teaching Christian doctrines and falsehood, I'm telling you, the Bible is not an opinion. And you better get that out of your mind. I will give you the names of the false teachers who have sold their souls for fame and money. Their end is a burning hell. E.J. Keating, Kenneth Hagin, Kenneth Copeland, Creflo Dollar, John Ambasini, Mark Sharona, Fred Price, Thomas Dexter Jakes, you know that TV Jakes, Morris Cirillo, Oral Roberts, Mike Murdoch, Benny Hinn, Paul and Jen Crouch, Jesse Duplantis, Larry Hutch, Robert Tilton, Leroy Thompson, Rodney Howard, Todd Cruz, Marcus Bishop, Bill Wilson. Being deceived, listen, about any part of the word of God is wrong. To be wrong about the atonement is the biggest mistake people can make. That's the reason that they have less people in their churches saved, because they make no effort to do so. But he who shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. I'm going to finish with this on page 14. This is the word of faith in their doom. If anyone, this is about them, man teach otherwise, the doctrines of Christ. That's right. What's his doctrines? You just can't say I believe in Jesus and go to hell, go to heaven. I just believe in, no, you know what they teach? Just believe. Believe what? Like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln? You got to believe in his doctrines. I am the way, the truth, and the life. The way is the law. When you find the way, you find the truth. The life, you go to eternal bliss. If any one man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing, dotting about questions, and strifes of words, debating, whereof cometh envy, strife, rallyings, evil summerings, perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For Paul said, we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will, watch that word, will be rich, struggle. Get out of my way. Me, selfish, money. Watch what happens. Fall into temptation and hurtful lust, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith of the law and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy 6:3-10. Anyone who preaches another gospel and deceives others will in no doubt lose their very souls. Stay prayed up. We are in bad times. I don't care what kind of picture Satan paints you in front of your eyes that everything's going good. The world is a delusion. It's a delusion. That's all it is. It's paper credit made out of nothing, out of our taxes, stealing us, stealing from the world. Amen. The Rothschilds have cornered the world market, and they're run by Satan. So anybody who tries to get rich will, in this world, will accomplish it. But you're going to have to take the position, especially when you're making millions. Don't think you're going to get away with it. Because if you don't take the position, if you know what I'm talking about, in a dark room with these white Jews, if you don't take the position, you know what I'm talking about. They'll banish your name. They'll 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 take everything from you, and you'll be in the streets. You'll end up in the streets. This is Brother Pat with love and concern and truth. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Shalom. Stay prayed up and sin not. I'll see you again tomorrow night.